guys, it's Kaz here, and today I'm just going to have a little chat. I have actually not even thought about what I was going to say in this video, so it might just be absolute waffle, but I thought I might make a little video about this, and this, and doing this. So yeah, highlighting books, writing in books, doing things in books. I thought it was pretty interesting. So if you saw my wrap up for last month, then you would have seen me talk about this book, Madhouse at the End of the Earth, and you would have seen that I went through and highlighted stuff. So with this book, I think I was about 122 pages in, and I was like, you know what, so much of this is just really interesting. And I thought about maybe putting little tabs in, because I do have little tabs, because a few times in the past I have put the odd tab or two in a book. Most of the time it's like, oh, that's a cool sentence, I'll tab that. But with this one, I just had the urge to get a highlighter out and start highlighting stuff. So I actually went back to the beginning of the book and skim read it and picked out the bits that I'd already seen that I wanted to remember. And I went through and highlighted it. And you know what? I really enjoyed the experience. So I know people have mixed feelings about this sort of thing. Is it ruining your book? Is it damaged? Is it evil? Do you enjoy it? Do you also write in your books? Everyone's different, but I know, especially on BookTube, there's a very high sort of, these books have to be pristine aesthetically. That sort of opinion floats around here quite a lot, but I've never really had that opinion. I've never really minded about, well, if I get a book, I don't want it to be horrible. I don't mind about opening it and reading it properly and breaking the spine. If I get a second-hand book, I don't mind if it's a bit dodgy and a bit grimy. I don't purposefully make my own books dodgy and grimy, but you know, if I accidentally drop it or get it a bit wet, or I've got one book that has blood on the side of it because one of my cats really likes rubbing stuff, you know, and they just rub their face on stuff because they're just weird and loving. Yeah, one of my cats does that a lot and she doesn't stop. And she makes her mouth sore, and one of my books has got blood all over the edge because she was doing it. She was just sat on the table just rubbing the book. So yeah, some books get banged up, some books get grimy, but I feel like actually taking a pen or a pencil or whatever and actually going into the book and writing or highlighting is quite different to that. So like I said, I've not actually thought about anything that I'm going to talk about in this video, but I just want to say that I really enjoyed the experience of it. Within this, I was highlighting different things. First of all, I purposely went for a bluey turquoise colour because I thought it went with the whole Arctic theme. Purposefully looked for a highlighter that would go with it. I didn't want a garish bright yellow, you know what I mean? But in here, I was highlighting certain passages that were from the men. So this is non-fiction. You might not have seen my wrap up. It's non-fiction about the Belgica expedition that went to the Antarctic, and it's written as like telling the story, but a lot of it will have bits from the actual men, their diaries that they kept there. So several times I was highlighting that. I was like, oh, that's really cool, because it's mad that in the 1800s, back in the day, people used to write diaries and they used to be really good at saying words. So some of that was highlighted. I was also highlighting certain things about what happened on the expedition. So on this one, they got stuck in the ice. They didn't have the proper food, so scurvy was abound. So there was some scurvy stuff coming up. There was illnesses. There was the men getting, you know, sick and not realising why. So those sort of things I highlighted. There was also one man fell off the ship. He died. He was the first person to die. 2 people died on the ship. So it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But the first one fell overboard in a storm and he died. So I was highlighting some stuff for that because that was really harrowing as well, because it was like bits from the diaries. The captain of the ship actually jumped out the ship to try and save him, grabbed him, but then couldn't keep hold of him. So there was a bit about him. And then the third thing that I was highlighting was just facts. So there was a lot of scientific stuff going on here, discoveries. The scientific discoveries made on this expedition took 40 years before they were all collated and given out to the public and presented as facts, because there was that much stuff. It took 40 years to collate it. So I just found it really interesting, and it means that I can just flick through this book and pick up just a random sentence, and whatever it's about, it'll be really interesting. So I'm just gonna like do this That's the pictures, that's not highlighted. So down here, we're talking about, oh, the first one I opened is a little highlight about when the captain did some nice stuff for Christmas. So the men got off the boat, they didn't know it was going to happen, they came back and all the bunks were all decorated for Christmas and they all had little Christmas gifts, which is nice. Why wouldn't you want to highlight that and remember it? I've flicked again, what's this one? Oh, when they brought 2 penguins back on the ship and they had little pet penguins for a few months there, because why wouldn't you have a pet penguin if you was in the Antarctic? Let's flick to another page. What's this one? We are no longer navigators, wrote de Gerlache, but a small colony of prisoners serving their sentence. That's because they got stuck in the ice and they were there for like a year, something like that, you know? So it's just really cool how I can just flick through and find these little bits and remember bits about it. Soon they caught their first glimpse of green. It was enough to make some of them cry. That's when they got back out and managed to find real land. So all in all, I just really enjoyed the process, the experience of highlighting a book, and I think I'm going to do it more often. I don't think I'm going to necessarily do it with fantasy, contemporary very often, but I feel like it's going to be something that's going to come up again, especially in non-fiction, because there are certain things that you want to remember more in non-fiction, or for me personally there is, whether it's facts or figures depending on what sort of thing you're reading about, or whether it's experiences, whether it's like there was one passage I highlighted, it was somebody explaining all the colours they could see, and it was just really nice the way it was explained. So yeah, I feel like with my non-fiction reading, highlighting bits and bobs is going to become a more permanent fixture. It probably won't happen every time, but if I'm reading a book and I think, oh, that's interesting, you know what, I'm probably just going to grab a highlighter and highlight it, because why not? It's my book, it's interesting, I can flick back through, see all this good stuff and remember it, because sometimes it's hard to remember. Even in the same month, if I've read something and then I'm reviewing it at the end of the month, I'm like, what am I trying to remember? It's kind of hard. So yes, that is this video. It's rambling, it's random, I don't understand what's going on, but I just thought it was interesting because it's my first foray into marking a book with a physical thing rather than just putting a tab in it, and I thought it was really good. So for anybody that hates it, for anybody that thinks I've wrecked my book, that's cool for you, you do you, keep your books pristine, that's good. But I am going to be the highlighter from now on. Maybe you'll see it, maybe if I see something good it's gonna get highlighted, okay? Okay. That was this video. What was it? It was just me chatting absolute waffle, but hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment down below. What are your thoughts, opinions on this sort of thing? Have you ever written in a book or highlighted it? Personally, I don't think I'm gonna necessarily write in them, because who needs my absolute waffle when I can just highlight what the book's waffling about, you know? But let me know down below if you do like doing that, or if you've seen this, maybe you've changed your mind about it, maybe you think, I don't personally want to do it, but I understand why you have. Or maybe you've seen this and thought, sacrilege, get that book away from that evil human being because she's not treating it right. Let me know down below. And if this is your first video by me and you enjoy it, then please check out some of my others. You'll also notice I just rambled here and didn't put a cat clip in, so there'll be one right here, now.
Why is your tongue out, lovely boy? You enjoying the box? You look silly but cute and lovely. Show me your tongue. Hi. You're wonderful.
And if you continue to enjoy, please subscribe, that would be awesome. Anyway guys, I'll see you in a few days with another video.